I'm Jennifer Alvarado, and you are listening to Hank Jr. on Hank's Corner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Hank's Corner. You know me, I'm Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and, of course, podcasting. And if you can see my background, if you're watching the video version of this, you notice that I am not in my normal little corner in the Tampa Bay area. I'm actually up in Panama City, on location, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing podcasting. We got a great episode for you. I'm going to bring somebody in that I've been following for a while. You may have seen her a few times on my New Music Friday post, and I'm glad to finally get a chance to talk to her. Please welcome to Hank's Corner, Jennifer Alvarado. Jennifer, how are you doing?
I am great. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. And, like I said, I'm so excited about having you finally to get on this. I'm glad that it was set up. But I got to know, because I told you where I'm broadcasting from. Yeah. Where are you actually calling in from?
Yeah, so I'm in North Carolina this week. I go back to Nashville Monday.
I know the feeling. You got to take a look at the calendar, figure out what day we're on and when you're going back. So do you do a lot of traveling then between your home state and Nashville?
I do. I'm back and forth pretty much every other week. And when I'm not in Nashville or North Carolina, I'm somewhere else, usually around the Southeast, but I travel wherever. So yeah, I'm usually on the road. I say I usually am on like I-40 going back and forth. That's where you can
now
find
how long is that commute for you?
To Nashville from where I am in North Carolina, it's about 6 hours.
Well, that's not too bad. I mean, I have to do about a 9 to 10 hour commute. Okay, and of course we gain an hour going to Nashville, lose it when we leave, but definitely have a better drive than I do. And, I know that you're probably jamming out with all kinds of music. We'll talk about what your influences are, what kind of music you like in a little bit. But, I'm definitely excited trying to figure out a little bit more about your latest song. For those who saw, it wasn't too long ago, it was on my New Music Friday post, My Daddy Doesn't Like You. And, I kind of know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I want to know, is this based on a true story?
Yes, it is.
Tell us the backstory to this.
So I started dating my husband when I was in college, and I think we were probably a month into dating, and he sent me like a whole bouquet of roses, and very sweet gesture. And my father just lost it. And so from that point forward, it was just like this point of contention with the two of them. And, we've been together forever at this point. And he, I will say that they tolerate each other. They are okay. They can be in the same room. Like, my husband tries to help him out with stuff, but yeah, it's just one of those things that I'm an only child. And so I really think that that's probably a big part of things. And my cat is losing her mind because of our conversation.
That's okay. We've had cats, we've had dogs show up in our show all the time, just kind of pop in. We bring them in sometimes. If you want to bring your cat up to see everybody, that would be great too. But, this song definitely does kind of resonate personally with me. And, if my wife is watching this, she's going to kind of nod her head a little bit because, it's been a long time ago now. It's, we've been married over a quarter of a century. But when we first got together, her family did not like me. And it had a little bit more, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, that my last name is a Spanish last name, and they did not like that. They didn't get to know me. But it took them a while, and I actually did win them over. But you said that you're still at the point where they just tolerate each other.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's been a lot of years at this point. Like, we've been married for 10 years almost. So yeah. So, maybe by 25, we will have something to say about it.
Yeah, it may take a little bit longer, or it may just be what it is. Sometimes that's the way it goes. But how long, being that it was of using your personal experience, how long did that song take you to write, though?
Honestly, that was probably like a 15-minute song, if that. I think probably what took me longer was to go back and just kind of the second verse. I think originally I had like 7 years or something in it, and I was like, no, it's been more than seven. Like we need to just put it all out here. So yeah, so I think that's honestly what took the most time. It was just one of those, and honestly, I wrote that song as kind of a joke to my husband, and then it just kind of took on its own little life, and I was like, well, let's just release this. So I actually released it like a couple days before his birthday too, just to, just to add in the little kick.
Happy birthday there.
Happy birthday. He still hates you.
Well, now I know that you have a guitar there. Would
Yeah.
it be too much to ask to play do the honors and actually play that song on Hank's Corner?
Not at all. I would be glad to.
Love it. Let's hear it.
Okay. Oh my, I think that I'm in love. You're a rebel and I just can't get enough. I like cool, but my parents think you're tough. And you're quiet, they can't trust the two of us. My daddy doesn't like you. He thinks that you're bad news. He's never seen me act like I do with you. His little girl's head over heels for a boy with tattoos. My daddy doesn't like you. I do. All these years I thought that things would change, but he still can't stand it when I say your name. 'Cause you took away his little girl to shame, and you're the devil with a beard and a ring. My daddy doesn't like you. He thinks that you're bad news. He's never seen me act like I do with you. His little girl's head over heels for a boy with tattoos. My daddy doesn't like you. I do. Yeah. My daddy doesn't like you, and he thinks that you're bad news. He's never seen me acting like I do with you. His little girl's head over heels for a boy with tattoos. My daddy doesn't like you. I do. Oh my, I think that I'm in love. Well, you're a rebel and I just can't get enough.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. That was Jennifer Alvarado with her latest song, "My Daddy Doesn't Like You." And like I said, that hits a little personal to me back in the day. But I'm just kind of curious. I don't see that as potentially a daddy-daughter dance, because I do a lot of weddings with my photography, and I don't know that might make it. But if it did, wouldn't that be hilarious?
I think that it would honestly be a great daddy daughter dance. I mean, it's upbeat. Yeah, why not? Just throw it out there. Like he doesn't really like you, but I do, and that's all that matters. So
Yeah, if anybody does that, be sure to write me or Jennifer and let us know. Hey,
yes,
hey,
please.
we actually did that. But like I said, I do a lot of photography, a lot of videography, and do a lot of daddy daughter dances, and that would be definitely a classic if that was done. Now, the second section of Hank's Corner, I always like to get to know a little bit more about the artist, specifically about the music, their history, that sort of thing. But before we do that, I always like to play the game. The audience at home likes to play this game at home as well, called Two Truths and a Lie. Very common game. I'm sure you know how it works. You're going to give me three statements, two of them being true, one of them not, in any order that you want. And at the end of the show, I'm going to have to try to guess what it is. So if you want to play along, hit me with three statements.
Okay. Well, okay. My first one is I was supposed to go to Duke for divinity and law school, but I deferred to pursue music. Um, my second statement is when I was 10, I went through a hip hop and rap stage where I loved hip hop music and I wanted to become a rapper. And my last one is when I was 19, I cried because I got a ticket because I wanted a career with the FBI and the CIA, and I thought that the ticket would cause my record to be screwed up, so I couldn't become part of it.
Okay, so I need to figure out if you were going to go to Duke for law school, but decided to give it up for music, that at around the age of 10 that you love hip hop and you wanted to become a rapper, or that at the age of 19 you cried because you got pulled over and got a ticket and you thought that was going to end your career in federal law enforcement or being a spy. So definitely interested in figuring out what's going to happen here. But I'm going to start talking about the music with you because I know at a very young age you got into music. Why don't you tell us the story about how that happened?
Yeah, so I started writing when I was about 4, and I know that sounds weird. I had a little tape recorder because obviously I wasn't writing yet, and I would record these little songs, and I loved making up songs, and I did it all the time at my grandmother's house. My papa, he was in a band at one point where he played on a Sunday morning radio station, I think with his brother or his cousin or somebody, and he was in a bluegrass band. And so I grew up with watching him play all these instruments, and I wanted to be like my papa. And so at a very early age, he started showing me guitar chords and started showing me like the mandolin until I broke the mandolin, and then it went on a shelf, and I wasn't allowed to touch it for a few years. And yeah, and and I spent so much time at my grandparents' house, and I grew up listening to everything my grandmother listened to, which was country and old, old country like Patsy Cline, and she loved Conway Twitty. That was her favorite. And I just loved country music. And then my other grandmother was really into like Bill Gaither and the whole
Mhm.
Christian music thing and gospel music. So I was into that. And my mom loved classic rock. And so I think just I had all of these different things. And then you do get into rap and all the other things. And it all just kind of played together because I just loved music. And I loved the fact that I felt like you could express anything and it was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and back up a little bit there because you said
Wow.
you broke the mandolin. So I'm curious about your little tape player. Was it like one of those play school tape players, or did they actually give you a real tape player to work with?
No, it was a Fisher Price tape player, like one of the big ones that you put like a book on and that has like the tape part on it.
Uh
And I
huh.
figured out that if you press the red button and play at the same time, it would record your voice. And I was like, huh, okay, here we go. And so, like, I started taping over all my little books on tape with my songs.
And what 4-year-old does not want to hear their voice? I mean, I know that raising kids that they just love hearing their voice. Doesn't matter if they sound good or not, but they love hearing their voice. Now, what kind of music were you putting together at age 4? I mean, was it like you saw commercials on TV, so you were doing jingles, or were you already doing like a Taylor Swift's "I'm going to get you back as you harmed me" type deal?
I do know like one song was about a unicorn. It was based on like there was a cartoon about a unicorn and it was like the last unicorn. And I remember this one specifically because it's still on a tape somewhere. So like I've actually listened to it. And so like it was like a full blown like song. But yeah, most of it was like, you know, singing songs I'd heard or and then like redoing the lyrics on them or coming up with jingles, like you said, stuff like that, just little things here or there. And then like I started writing more short stories and stuff like that because I loved storytelling. And so then when I figured out like, hey, you can actually tell stories with songs, like I was just like, here we go.
Yeah, and that's one of the great thing about music, and specifically, I say about country music, how they do, really offer a good story. And but it wasn't just country. I know there's a lot of country stuff that you mentioned there, but the gospel and worship played a huge factor in your life as well, correct?
It has, it still does, yes. I started worship leading when I was about 15, and that was really I, I had done things like choir and doing little songs here or there with drama and all that kind of stuff, but I would say it wasn't until I got involved with church and worship leading that I really felt like I started working on stuff and working on um, just music as a whole and how to sing to a congregation and how to put a message out there. So yeah, that was, and I did that for, I mean, I still do that. So I've been doing that a number of years at this point.
Did you, or maybe it changes and you've gone through it, but was there a particular worship song that just you really loved to sing? It felt you well, and you felt that you could praise God at the same time?
Oh gosh, it's changed so much over the years. I would say probably one that I feel like has gone with me through the years is it as well, the Bethel version. Um, just because, especially going through just different stages of music and you have these highs and then you have these lows, like you have a lot of doors slammed in your face and you have a lot of people tell you no, and it's like, God, I know this is on my heart to do, like, you know how are you going to make a way? And so that song especially is always that place of like, when I'm feeling down, I will turn that song on because it I know as long as I have breath in my lungs, it's not over, and he's going to make something good out of it. And it may look like everything is stacked against you, but he can make a way out of all of it. So I think that song I always go back to.
Yeah, definitely a great song choice, and great truth that you speak there. And I'm always, here on Hank's Corner, allowing that to be spoken on my platform, because I believe that we all get our gifts from somewhere, either it's from God Almighty, and for us to turn around and thank Him and to be able to use those gifts for His honor is great. But when did you actually, decide that, hey, this is more than just leading worship? This is more than just, writing my own jingles as a kid. When did you take this seriously and say, hey, look, I want to make a career out of this?
Honestly, I wanted to make a career out of it probably when I was 6 or 7 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I realized that, like, I remember like my mom was going to a concert and she wouldn't let me go because I was too young, and I was so angry. And but I remember thinking like, oh, people actually show up to hear people sing. Like, what is this? And and then like I realized about songwriting, and I just felt like, God, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to just sing songs and relate to people that way. And because music was such a huge thing for me. It was, I think, growing up an only child and feeling unseen a lot of the time. You At least I did. I got a lot out of other people's lyrics and songs and what they were going through in those songs, and I felt like, oh, somebody else gets it. Somebody else understands what I'm feeling. And I think that because I felt that, I always wanted to be on the other end of it too and be the one that was able to help somebody with a song, and say something that would matter to somebody who was just feeling down and out and completely unseen. I think when you're an only child and you feel unseen a lot of the times, because you grow up and you don't really have brothers or sisters that are your age, so you're around adults a lot. And I was the kid that was told, it's better to be seen and not heard. And so I kept a lot to myself. And so for me, music and hearing what other people were going through helped me to realize I wasn't the only one feeling a certain way. And so for me, like that's what I've always wanted to be for somebody else in the same regard, is to be that voice of helping somebody else feel seen. And even if I'm not going through the same thing, that I get it at some level. Um, yeah, so I think that I've wanted to do this my entire life, pretty much. I just think I let fear keep me from doing it for a long time, and really living into it and living into the plan that God had.
Yeah, we're glad that you have overcome that fear. And when we come back, I do want to drill down a little bit more on some of the challenges that you have faced. But we're going to play something about a boy. And when we come back, we'll talk about that.
She was 18, following her dreams, falling for a boy who couldn't quite seem to get to where he was going. Everyone told her to tell him goodbye. Don't look back, you need to live your life. But her heart felt something. Seasons go and seasons change, but one thing always stays the same. First love, tell your heart back. Doesn't make sense, but you think you know right. Can't sleep, find it hard to breathe. Lose on track of time, makes you weak in your knees. Then one day you can find the sparkle in his eye. Oh, there's something about a boy, something about a boy. Putting him first. Every word he said hurt a little worse. She stopped dreaming. Never enough to make things right, and never strong enough to tell him goodbye. Until one night the truth was glaring. Love is always worth the fight, but sometimes you run to save your life. First love, tell your heart back. Doesn't make sense, but you think you know right. Can't sleep, find it hard to breathe. Lose on track of time, makes you weak in your knees. Then one day you can find the sparkle in his eye. Oh, there's something about a boy, something about a she
And that was Something About a Boy by my special guest, Jennifer Alvarado, here on Hank's Corner. Of course, you know me, I'm Hank Jr., and, having a good time so far. And I'm enjoying this. But, this next section, if you don't mind, it's going to be a little bit more emotional, a little bit more raw. We're going to get down because, I know your story's out there. So that's why I want to ask about it. But you did face some challenges growing up, and you
Yeah.
mentioned a little bit of how music helped you. So tell us about these challenges, and how music, did help you.
So I grew up with I was born on my grandmother's birthday, and she was my best friend up until I was 10 years old, and um, we pretty much did everything together. And she's the one that really got me into country music. We would watch TNN and CMT and all those things together. And so when she passed away when I was 10, and honestly, it was like the world, like my eyes opened and I saw the world for the first time, but I saw like all the just anxiety and bad of the world. And I went into middle school a couple months after she passed away, and there was just a lot of bullying because to want to be a country singer in sixth grade, yeah, you're kind of setting yourself up sometimes for at least back then. And so I had a lot of people that just did not like me and would say things. And there were several girls, especially that told me basically like, if you go out for a solo or you get a solo or whatever, like you can't be friends with us, we will beat you up, all this kind of stuff. So there was just a lot of that. And so for several years, up until probably mid high school, I just had a lot of performance anxiety to the point that I stopped performing. I still would try to do drama, but wouldn't go out for anything singing wise. I still played guitar and wrote at home in secret, and that was my solitude and my safe place because I could say whatever I needed to say and talk about whatever I needed to talk about. But there was just a lot of that. And then I ended up sort of because of all that secrecy that was happening, I ended up having an eating disorder going into high school. And if anybody has ever struggled with that, there's just a lot of secrecy around that, a lot of shame that comes with that. You don't want people knowing. And I think that fueled the anxiety even more. And so it wasn't until college that I really started trying to seek help for the anxiety I was feeling and just trying to figure out, okay, how do you perform and be happy performing, and get joy out of this versus worrying about you all the time and worrying about what people think and whatever, because the fact is it's not about you, especially during worship. It's not about you. And that's the realization I had to come to, that it was not about me. It's about music, and it's about doing what I feel like God's telling me to do and leading me to do. And I think once I started kind of being able to take some of that perfectionism like off of myself, that pressure off of myself, and say, just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You need to just go do it. A lot of the anxiety started, fixing itself in that. And I got a better grip on it.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's been many shows that we've had where on Hank's Corner we've talked about mental health, and all the things that go into that, because there's a lot of contributing factors to mental health. There's things that people have just inside of them that create, like you said, whether it's anxiety or certain kind of feelings, and there's also the aspect from the outside world that puts physical problems, whether it's like you're saying bullying, which we talked about on the show before, or people coming back from war and different things that that cause these different things. and everybody has to deal with it kind of in their own way.
Mhm.
And and hopefully that they, like you said, you sought out help, you got some help, there's some realizations that you had to go through.
Mhm.
But to those who may be going through it now or may have to experience it in the future, what is some of the advice or some of the tips that you can kind of give to them to kind of help them along? Because a lot of times, like you said, it is a lot of secrecy because it's still not considered a normal. It's not healthy to be normal, and people don't like that. They give you hard times about it. But other times, people just don't want to reach out for fear of feeling like a failure. But what are some advices that you can give to these people and kind of help them out?
Yeah, one thing, because I'm involved with Celebrate Recovery, and for anybody who doesn't know what that is, it's like a 12-step like AA or NA, but I've been a worship leader for that for many years. And Celebrate Recovery is a little bit different because it's for everyday struggles. It's for anything, any hurt, habit, hang up, whatever. And one thing that they tell you with Celebrate Recovery is you've got to talk about something. So the first thing I would say is don't be afraid, whether it's somebody that you really trust and you know that they are a compassionate person and will just listen, talk to them, but don't feel ashamed to go ask for help. Like that's one of the bravest things you can possibly do, is to just go ask for help, whether it be from a therapist or a doctor or whoever. So that's number one, because we can't treat anything that's not brought into the light. And the thing that we don't always understand is when we leave something in the dark like that, it's like a fungus and it grows in the dark. But when you bring it out to the light and you talk about it, it takes away that shame. It takes away that guilt. It takes away that power that whatever it is has over you. And you can actually work on it at that point and find ways of getting past it. And it takes away the control that has over you. And also, everybody has something. Like, everybody has something. And if they don't, they are lying, or it's pride and they just aren't, admitting to it. So don't think that you are weird because something's going on, because that's just not true. There's no such thing as normal, and no person is normal. If you are, I would like to meet you. So yeah, so I would say the biggest thing though is to don't be afraid to just ask for help, and and know who your people are that are going to actually not enable you, but actually listen to you and talk to you and not make you feel worse about whatever's happening. And that's why programs like NA or AA or CR, like all of those exist, because you're able to go in and have that level of anonymity that you don't necessarily have if you went to a family function and told everybody your business. And so you have like-minded people in those situations that can actually hold you accountable and be a buffer and reach out to you and make sure you're still doing what you need to be doing without giving away all your secrets.
Yeah, definitely some great advice there, Jennifer. And I appreciate it that you're brave enough to talk about this, because what I hope when I bring it out is my thing is that if somebody else sees it, they may be a fan of your music or another guest that I've had on here, and they're like, oh, well, that person, talked about it and look where they ended up. I guess I'm all right, and that's kind of what I hope by, bringing it on the platform. But thanks so much for being brave enough to talk about it. But I can't let the show go without at least asking for at least one more song for you. Would you be willing to play something else for us?
I sure will. The song is called Colorado, and my husband always jokes that I'm cussing him when I sing it, because the line says, "Damn you, Colorado," and he says it's supposed to be Alvarado. It is not. It is not. It's actually my spin on Dan and Shay's tequila, and the untold story from her point of view. So the smoke or the altitude. The July sky was the only other one that knew. We were chasing stars and freedom, wrapped in its arms, our hearts were beating. Forever seemed so close when it was new. Damn you, Colorado, Rocky Mountains on a back road. He swore that he loved me, so I gave him everything. 10 miles south of Boulder, he said we were over, that he'd met somebody, and I'm just a memory. Damn you, Colorado. Funny how I still recall everything, from the chill of the night to him kissing me. In my sorority t-shirt, the moonlit sky, we planned out the rest of our lives. Now it's all so bittersweet. Damn you, Colorado, rocking their hands on that back road. He swore that he loved me, and I gave him everything. 10 miles south of Boulder, he said we were over, that he met somebody, and I'm just a memory. Damn you, Colorado. Damn you, Colorado. Damn you, Colorado. Damn you, Colorado. Rocky Mountains on a back road. He swore that he loved me, so I gave him everything. 10 miles south of Boulder, he said we were over, that he'd met somebody, and I'm just a memory. Damn you, Colorado. Damn you, Colorado. Oh, oh, oh. Damn you, Colorado. Damn you, Colorado.
And that was Colorado by Jennifer Alvarado. And don't get those two confused, or our husband's going to get mad. It's song's called Colorado, and that was great. And for those that are watching, if you don't know Jennifer already, you can see why I like her. I love her voice, and I love the music, and she's got a great story to tell. And now we got to back up. We got to go back to the two truths and a lie and figure out, which one's true, which one's a lie. So you told me earlier that you were supposed to go to Duke, get a law degree, but you end up switching over to music. That at age 10, you like hip hop and you wanted to become a rapper, or at 19, you cried to get pulled over for a ticket. So, this is a little tricky. And I say that a lot, but this is tricky for a different reason. And I don't know that I'm going to get it right, but I'm going to go with my gut. And I'm going to say, because I was kind of like this as well. At 10 years old, you did like hip hop, thought about becoming a rapper. I'm going to say at 19, you did cry, but the other one is not true. How did I do?
Okay, so wait, which one's not true?
So the one about switching the schools is not true. The majors are going to Duke. I knew it. So which one's the lie?
The lie is wanting to be a rapper at 10.
Oh, so the one that I was sure of.
I did love rap and hip hop. However, I will be the first to tell you, don't ever let me rap anything. I had a teacher when I was in 9th grade tell me I would win the worst rapper ever. Like, we had to rap for class, and she was like, please don't ever do it. Like, you are excused from this assignment.
Oh man. So that's why when you know they tell you in school in general, like, if part of the statement is false, the whole thing is false because it was just that one little part. So at 19 and you got pulled over, did you get out of that ticket?
Mm-mm. No. So I,
Oh.
I remember going back to my professor because my professor, he was with government, like he did do something with government, and I went crying to him, and I was like, "What am I supposed to do? My record is it's completely messed up now. I'm never going to get into this." And he was like, "I promise you, like it's not that big of a deal."
That's good. Yeah. And, sometimes we just can't get out of those tickets. And just a reminder that we have to be law abiding citizens and otherwise pay the consequences if we don't. And, we just got a little bit more time. I want to throw out some, fast track questions here. And of course, I always like starting it out with food because that's just who I'm all about. I love food. So, what is your favorite comfort food?
Ooh, probably pizza.
Oh, I like that. Special toppings. What kind of toppings you throw on it?
Oh, I'm so basic. If I feel wild, I'll put in green pepper, but usually just pepperoni.
Okay. Are you binge watching anything right now?
We just finished Big Mistakes.
Oh,
Um, yeah, we just finished that, and we started. Oh, what is it playing? Playing Gracie something. Playing great. I don't know. Gracie something another. It's a horror thing. So yeah, we're in the midst of that one.
okay. And I know musicians are always busy doing something related to music, but aside from music, what are some of the things that you like to do?
Oh gosh. I love spending time with my husband when we have time. I love
Oh,
spending time with our animals, and cuddling with my dog who's over here right now asleep. Um, Gosh, honestly, I feel like I'm either on the road or doing music, and that's like it. I also love so I volunteer with the correctional facility, doing worship there. But I like going and doing stuff like that too.
yeah. People don't believe me when I say that musicians, I mean, that is like a 24/7 thing. And
It really
it's,
is.
it's, it's hard to get
Everything
like, what's
but
another hobby that you have that's not part of music. So I get that.
I'm
And,
reading more. Like I
oh,
finally started reading again. Like that's probably a good thing.
what kind of books do you read?
I'm trying to read a little bit of everything. I really like, honestly, I really like self help books, and I like religion books. I think that goes back to the whole divinity thing.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And since you're on the road a lot and you definitely listen to music, what's on the top of your playlist right now?
Oh gosh. Casey Musgraves is probably the thing I've listened to most lately. Like she's the person I've listened to most. Um, who else? I just listened to Ella Langley's new CD. Honestly, and this is going to make me look like a freak. I listen to a lot of podcasts on the road, and most of them are true crime. So, like when I'm on the road, I'm like binging true crime. I've probably listened to every true crime known to man at this point. So yeah, if anybody pulls me over, I promise I'm not like weird. It's just that's what I listen to. It keeps me awake. So yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I know that your first concert that you went to was Reba McEntire. You
Was.
know, given the opportunity, that somebody should be able to come to a Jennifer Alvarado show, what should they expect?
A little bit of everything. I like to throw all the different genres in there, and give it a little country twist because I can't really get past my accent and my twang. So yeah, but I do everything from Soul Asylum to Johnny Cash, back to Reba to Dina Carter, all of that stuff. So I like to just kind of throw things out there, and then my music is kind of a blend of all of that. So I would say especially if I have the leverage to be able to do it, I like to tell the stories behind songs too, because I think it helps kind of give people context into what they're listening to, and have the inside scoop, and I always enjoyed knowing that. So I tend to do that as well.
Yeah, well, I definitely have to come out and see you at
Oh,
some
love
point,
that.
and until then, whether it's out there in North Carolina, Nashville, or maybe you come down to the Tampa Bay area, got to
Yeah.
see that, and of course, everybody out there, if you're not already doing so, please follow Jennifer Alvarado on her social medias. Her website is listed below. And until I get a chance to get out there and see you, Jennifer, you're always welcome to be a guest on Hank's Corner.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Strawberry wine in Carolina led to my first kiss. A night I still remember, but I wish I could forget. In sweet home Alabama, I thought I had found the one. But on a midnight train to Georgia, he told me we were done. Whether waking up in Vegas or on a Rocky Mountain high, I can still remember all the boys have made me cry. I've left a trail